Good morning. This is the Why Morning Monologue. Checking in from a new location, had my setup commandeered. That's okay. We persevere. Today, I want to talk about the why experiment. How I see it, life is a series of experiments. There's small ones and there's one big one. The big one is the why experiment. Essentially, time is the one universal constant. It's what unites all of us. We're all subject to the exact same timeline. We all get 24 hours every single day. It's what we do with that time that determines the output of that experiment. Along the way, we can test many different variables, and it's what we do with that time that determines what kind of a life we live. Fairly straightforward. A great example of this is this time I'm choosing to spend recording this show. I could be doing countless other things. I have a brand I would like to build, but I think that this is the number one way to spend my time at this present moment. Why? Because I grow. I learn what it means to articulate. I'm a very inarticulate person, and this is something I would like to get better at. I'm very scientific minded, so my writing and my communication is very rigid. It's very straightforward. But yesterday I was reading a very interesting book called Nausea, and essentially it's a French philosopher, almost his diary, where he's just able to explore his own thoughts, and the way he tells those stories is so poetic. Observations he has about the world around him and the way he's able to communicate that through his writing is something that I can't do. And I've spent so much time reading dense nonfiction books. Oh, I have to learn this, so I'm going to read this 500-page book about it. But really, I think my time in this regard is spent developing my creative side. What I've landed on is that this morning monologue, this time alone with my thoughts, is exactly that. I need to philosophize. I need to explore deep within myself. And before, what I would do is, okay, dump what's on your mind. Let's cut it up. Let's make it into short. But that's not unique. That's not who I am. Who I am is just someone who's curious. Where can my mind go with 10 minutes and nothing to do but talk? Where does my mind go? And in the beginning, it's always very surface level. I realized that this morning when I was journaling, was that the first couple of paragraphs are very much, okay, here's what's on my mind. You kind of have to get through those in order to do a deeper exploration of what's actually going on. And for me right now, I would like to find my voice. I would like that voice to be more creative. I would like that voice to be more persuasive. And I would like to expand my vocabulary. So I'm very grateful for this book. And I would like to explore deeper within literature. Like the greats who are really able to express themselves are those that I need to learn from. I already know what it is I want to build. I already have that kind of figured out. I know what self-experimentation is. I was reading a book, Who Goes First, and it's the story of self-experimentation in science. And yeah, it's cool to see who came first, who came before me, but really it's not so valuable. And I found myself lacking the motivation to even want to pick that book up. And I think that internal friction is something I need to listen to. And well, I'm going to do so. And this is the whole point of this why experiment, is that it's iterative. You do things, you find that they're not what you expected them to be, you find that you don't enjoy doing them, you find that basically they're ineffective, inefficient, however you want to frame it, but you learn and you change. So I spent much of the last year just reading really dense nonfiction books, as I said, but my favorite book from the whole year was The Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut, which was the story of this future with aliens and whatnot, but it was just much more interesting to read. In order for me to become the most well-rounded version of myself, there's this like inner artist that I need to feed. Right now, I'm only feeding my engineer, my builder, but the other side's equally as important, if not even maybe more important. Maybe not more important, but definitely important. This artist that wants to come out, right? I make these videos, but I find that they're not very artistic. They're very rigid. And okay, sure, I'm a fairly rigid guy, but if I'm just copying the Tim Ferriss or the Andrew Huberman, what am I doing? Who am I? And I think that my unique talent is the ability to take what these guys are saying and simplify it and present it in a way that's digestible by anyone. But to do that, I need to have the clarity of mind, the clarity of thought, clarity of spoken word to get that message across. And if I'm just regurgitating the information they say, I'm not doing that. I'm not adding any value to anything, to anybody. I think that's fairly clear. I think that it's good to have come to this realization so early. I realized that on Sunday when I was cutting out Friday's monologue into shorts, it's like, what does this actually accomplish? I'm just wasting my time. And as we come back to, time is the most important resource all of us have. And it's all about adjusting and figuring out what to do with that time, how to use it. The first 6 days of this were good, but not where I want to take it. Where I want to take it as much deeper, more philosophical. What's going on in the world? How do I feel about it? How can I express that clearly and be articulate with that? I think that is the best way to grow. It's almost like going to the gym, except the gym is me speaking. The gym is me taking the thoughts that are in here and putting them in here so that you can interact with them, so that they exist in the world, but finding a way to do so that invokes authority and respect and is clear and is valuable. That's the most important thing. If I'm just regurgitating the same things over and over and over again, there's no value add. It really needs to be different. This morning, I journaled first. I think that is a much better practice. Journal, then record. I found that exploration to be really valuable. I mean, I woke up this morning tired. I didn't want to get out of bed. The night before last, I slept maybe 3 hours. So last night, caught up on that sleep, but it felt like such good sleep. I didn't want to end it, but I realized I had to. This time, really coming to that realization is so very powerful. It's limited. We only have so much, and to waste it is such a shame, especially given how much there is to do and how far I would like to go. So I got myself up. Here I am recording this. With the friction, I've got a busy day ahead, but taking all that and being able to compartmentalize it to the side so that I can be alone with my thoughts. I think that's something that's really lacking in this day and age, is no one's ever alone with their thoughts. There's no boredom. You just open your phone and you have the whole world at your disposal. You could do whatever you want, but then when does your brain grow? When do you grow? I do think that there is tremendous amount of value in this. Oh, timer's up. Didn't get a noise, but that's the end of that for today. It's a little raw, but with time, we'll get better. So I'll see you all tomorrow.